10, the coordinate plane. We're going to be naming coordinates and quadrants and then graphing points in the coordinate plane. So let's talk about what it means. A coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of two number lines. So we already have seen the horizontal number line, but what if we intersected it with a vertical number line? These number lines are splitting our graph into four quadrants. We have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. The horizontal number line is what we call the x-axis in our coordinate plane, and the vertical number line is what we call the y-axis. Okay, so we have a horizontal number line here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then negative 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a vertical number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive and up, and then negative 1, 2, 3, 4 is down. So this is our coordinate grid. And remember, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, 3, and 4. I pointed out for you the y-axis. It goes up and down. This is our x-axis. It goes left and right. This point here is called the origin. The origin is the point 0, 0. We'll talk more about what this point means and what it's called. It's called an ordered pair. And an ordered pair gives the coordinates and it's the location of a point. So for instance, if we have the ordered pair -5, -4, and it identifies this point P. Point P is in which quadrant? 1, 2, 3. It's in quadrant 3. We count counterclockwise. So P is in quadrant 3. Let's talk about what each number means in this ordered pair. Notice that it's in parentheses with a comma in between. The first number in front of the comma is the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate shows the position right or left. Okay. The second number, -4 here, is called the y-coordinate. It shows the position above or below. So let's use this coordinate plane to write the coordinates of each point and state what quadrant it's in. So point A, I need to figure out its coordinates. Now remember, I want a number, comma, another number in parentheses. The x-coordinate says how far right or left is it. So A is over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And since we went right, these numbers over here on the number line are positive. So this would be a +4. And we'd have to go 1, 2, 3 in the upward direction. These numbers up here were positive because the y-coordinate tells you how far up or down you're at. So A is at the point 4, 3. Point B. Point B, we're always going to go left and right before we go up and down. So let's figure out how much left and right we need to go. So we start at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4 again. This time we have to go down 1, 2, 3, and going down vertically means it's a -3. Okay, C, D, and E, I'd like you to try and do on your own. Find the coordinate points for C, D, and E. All right, go ahead and compare your answers with mine. For point C, I found that it was at 3, -5, so I had to go right 3, that's +3 on the x-axis, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 downwards on the y-axis, so that'd be a -5. For D, I had to go left 1, 2, 3, 4, so I got a -4. Remember, these numbers over here are negative. And then also I had to go down 3, so I got my -3 as the y-coordinate. Point E would be -5, but then I went upwards, so that's a +3. So I wrote the coordinates of each point. Now I have to state which quadrant they're in. A is in quadrant 1, so I'm going to put a Roman numeral 1. B is in quadrant 4. I'm going to put 1 before 5 Roman numeral. This was 1, remember, 2, 3, and down here is 4. C is also in quadrant 4. D would be in 1, 2, 3. And E would be in quadrant 2. Now, if we're going to graph a point, so these were already graphed for us, but if we want to graph our own point, let's say point A, and point A has an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate, we simply just graph that ordered pair and then we label it A. Okay, so the x tells us to go left or right, y tells us to go up or down. What tells you to go left? Left is the negative numbers, right would be the positive numbers. What tells you to go up? Up would be positive numbers, down would be negative numbers. Okay, so let's start to graph. Graph point R, and point R is 3, negative 4.5. So step 1, we want to start at the origin. So find 0, 0. And 3 tells me the x value. So it's a positive number, so I need to go right because x runs left and right. Positive numbers are over here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And now I'm over here. But I also have to follow the y-coordinate. So the y-coordinate says negative 4.5, negative 4.5. So since it's negative, I don't want to go up. I want to go down 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need to go a half more. So I don't want to go full more. I'm going to end up right here at the half mark. So it says draw a dot and label it R. So this would be point R. I want you to graph this point S, negative 4.5, 3. Please graph it on your coordinate grid. Okay, hopefully you went negative 4.5. That means go left 4.5 and then up 3. And you plotted a point here. So it's going to be in the middle between negative 4 and negative 5, and then it's going to be on the line 3. And also I hope that you labeled it S. So we're going to use this idea of graphing points to plot geometric figures. So it says graph a figure with vertices at t, 1, negative 2, u, negative 3, negative 2, v, negative 3, positive 2, and w, 1, 2. Okay, so we'll just start with t and go to 1, negative 2. So I need to go left and right before I can go up and down. It's kind of like when you're riding an elevator. So here's your elevator door. You have to go into the elevator before you can go up or down. Sometimes the elevator is over here, so you might have to go left, but then you still go up and down second. Okay, so left and right before we go up and down. In the elevator before we go up. So in the elevator, one step, and this time we're going down 2 floors. So I go over 1, down 2. And I'm going to label him T. U is at the point negative 3, negative 2. So I have to go backwards to get to the elevator. 1, 2, 3 steps backwards. And the elevator is taking me 2 floors down. 1, 2. And we call that U. V is at the point negative 3, 2. So again, start at the origin. The negative 3 tells you to go left or right, and because it's negative, we need to go left. 1, 2, 3. And we're going up 2 floors. It's a positive 2, so we go upwards. And this is point V. And the last point W is at 1, 2. So start at the origin. It's a positive 1, so I want to go right 1. And then positive 2 tells me to go up 2 and plot that W. Now that we've graphed all the vertices, we're going to connect the dots. And it looks like we have just formed a rectangle. Okay, go ahead and try to graph this figure, KLM. You can do it on the same graph. I'm going to use a different color when I do it. Make sure you plot the points and label them. Okay, I ended up with a triangle that had a straight line across. L was the tricky one at negative 2.5, comma 1. So start out the origin and go back 1, 2.5. So you're in between the -2 and -3. And you go up 1 full 1. And then -2, comma -4 would have been left and then down 4. K was at 3, comma 1, both positive, so that'd be in quadrant 1. All right, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask for help. Ask your neighbor, ask Miss Henderson, ask Miss Martin, and ask Miss S. They're all willing to help you, and I hope you have fun doing the surprise graphing activity for your assignment. I miss you all, and I will see you soon.